we should be live. Live. It claims to be live. Let's see. Let's see here. Yes, we are live. Cool. Alright, so, hopefully everybody got the memo. And hopefully we'll see some regulars this time. Hello, action figure expert and McDowin. McDowin, who's becoming the War on Cobra expert. Hi, Comic Tropes. Matt. Everybody here. I got my glasses. I have my glasses in anticipation of needing to read something. Okay, so it looks like we have pictures and sound. Nice shirt, yes! And thanks to Comic Tropes for the Japanese G.I. Joe. So we have stuff to talk about, and I even have some show and tell. I finally got some stuff in that I can show you because it isn't for reviews that are coming up right away. Hello, Green Yeti and Leo, and Mr. Commendador and Beach76. Hello and welcome. So I have some stuff to show. Hello, Glenn Robbins and the Killer Weezer. And Bad Ape, how do you do? Thanks everybody for showing up. Hopefully this live stream will go better than last week. I did want to say something about last week and kind of get it out of the way. Hello, Rodolfo and Sparkster, MCDJ, ACDC, Armor Magnus. I can't say everybody's name that fast. Hello, Delvis, Bob's Dungeon, Kevin, Peter Ang. Hello, Painted Plastic. Nice to see you, G.I. Joe Fan 22 and Matt Rubin. Hello, everybody. So, last week I got a little testy with someone in the live chat, and I kind of felt bad about that. I'm not necessarily about banning the guy, but I've tried to not have an adversarial relationship with the audience, which means that sometimes people say things that I think are quite wrong, but I just don't argue because I just don't want to have that kind of relationship with the audience. I don't want our relationship to be adversarial. Even when sometimes I think something is really obviously wrong, I try not to argue. But I'm not perfect, and I decided I felt like arguing last week, and I did. So yes, I got testes. Hello, Big Easy, Havert, and Brandon Knight. Hello, almost snuck by me. I did see the Sonic movie with Audrey yesterday, actually. Let's see, who came in? Hello, Rob M. Yeah, that's true, the Killer Weezer, and I agree with that. That's not, I would like to have a bit more self-discipline. I hate to admit it, but I am human. No, it wasn't about anything dirty. It was just, I have a hard time with certain, conventions of certain types of fandom, and the self-appointed keepers of the canon, which one of my issues with that, and I don't want to go too much into it, is if you ever wonder how somebody becomes a fan of something and yet somehow hates almost everything that is a part of that thing, that's how you get that kind of fan. That's how you get that kind of fan who claims to be a fan and spends a lot of time focused on a particular thing, and yet somehow hates it, somehow seems to hate everything about it. That's how, one way you get down that path, and it's something that I don't want to do. We're gonna move on. We're gonna we've got some stuff to talk about. We have some news items. We have some G.I. Joe news items. I might be a Cobra Law Brandon Knight, but you would never know. If I were a Cobra Law, I wouldn't tell you. Yeah. Hello, April. I don't know that we will do a quiz on G.I. Joe. We'll see if we get to it. We got some stuff to talk about. We actually have some G.I. Joe news. Holy guacamole. Hello, Radars 468. Hello, Leah. Nice to see you. Cobra Island, I think I missed saying hello to you. Hello, Cobra Island. Let's talk. Okay, let's talk about the G.I. Joe news. Okay, let's just dive right in and talk about it. So some photos have been leaked on the social medias. Some photos of the upcoming 6-inch G.I. Joe line. In particular, some photos of the Snake Eyes figure, both in and out of the packaging. Yes, we haven't seen the whole line yet, but we've seen Snake Eyes. So that's something worth talking about. For not having any G.I. Joe product for several years now, this is coming, and it's something that I've seen a few people be skeptical about if it's really going to happen, but we had some pretty solid intel that it was coming. And now we have actual photos of it. So let's talk about that. I don't collect modern figures, and I don't really have. I don't collect modern figures. I don't collect 6-inch figures, so it's not something that I will actively be trying to collect, or at least I'm not planning on getting the whole series. I think there are 5 figures in the series. Nathan, they haven't announced any 6-inch scale vehicles, and I really kind of doubt that they will. But there are also rumors of an upcoming 4-inch line, and we'll talk about that. That's the other news item. Hang on, one news item at a time. We got a lot to talk about. Yeah, I mean, some people have been really begging for 6-inch figures. Some people have said that they don't have any interest in 6-inch figures. I guess I'm a little bit in the middle, but I'm more on the side of I don't have a lot of interest in 6-inch figures. But since this is some new G.I. Joe product, I am curious about it. And so I'll probably get at least a couple of the figures just so that I can see them and kind of compare them to, you know, the 4-inch figures and the 3 3/4-inch figures. Yeah, some people go a little bit beyond just being uninterested, and like they're openly hostile to the idea of 6-inch figures. So, well, no, Leah's not gonna. Leah's gonna go to her corner and say inappropriate things. Well, that's fine as long as you're saying inappropriate things somewhere. You know, some inappropriate things just have to be said, and it's good to know that at least somewhere inappropriate things are being said. So yeah, I mean, I've never been a believer in this idea that you have to buy everything. You know, you don't have to spend any money that you don't want to spend. If it's not something that interests you, then, you know, why would you buy it? I mean, I know some people are completists, and I sort of am too when it comes to the vintage figures. But you know, that's a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm reviewing them for YouTube. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm not out here saying, hey, everybody, go spend money on this stuff. You know, go buy it whether you like it or not. I mean, I really kind of don't believe in telling people to just go out and spend money. Not everybody can go out and just blow a bunch of money on stuff. And you have to be a little more selective about what you purchase. So, you know, if this interests you, and a lot of people have been asking for a 6-inch series for a long time. Hello, Messed Up One. April, if you ask me a question, if I can see it in there, I'll answer it if I can, but I'm also talking in the live chat's going really fast. Anyway, so, the clamor, I guess, for 6-inch figures it's been there, but there's been some resistance to it as well. Bad Ape, but that's a good point. Bad Ape brings up a good point. Pay your rent first. This is one reason why, as I've gotten a little farther into collecting, I'm not super impressed with people who have huge collections. I mean, that's nice. It's really fun to have big collections, but you know, when it comes down to it, that's just like somebody who has spent a lot of money on this particular thing, and that's fine if you have it to spend. April, what's my favorite G.I. Joe figure? My favorite is Stalker, the 1983 swivel arm version of Stalker. Thanks for asking. So I have more respect. I will have more respect for you if you are taking care of important things, you know, taking care of your family, taking care of your kids, taking care of business. And then, you know, if you can afford to blow some money on some plastic, then cool. Oh, hello, John Carling. Nice to see you. April says her favorite figure is Ace. I also like Ace. Although he's not my favorite, I always liked his sort of space helmet thing. I just think that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. So and you know, when I do reviews, I'm not following that up by saying, "Hey, go out and buy this thing." Or even like, don't go buy the thing. But for some folks, watching the review might be a substitute for going out and buying the vintage toy. You know, hopefully the reviews show you lots of different angles and show you how it moves around, and you get a good look at it. And maybe after that, you feel like you don't necessarily have to own it yourself. No, I'm sorry. The live chat's going by really fast tonight, so I'm sorry I'm not keeping up very well. Also, when I start talking with my hands, then my eyes shut off and I don't read. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's okay to not spend money if it's not. If something's not affordable to you, or if it's not something you really want. Comic Tropes collects 12-inch Hot Toys figures. Well, 12-inch Hot Toys figures, pretty penny. But that's because the Comic Tropes is rich. At least that's what I heard. I heard that Comic Tropes independently wealthy. That's just what I heard. It's a rumor. But the Hot Toys, I have seen them, and there's a reason why I don't buy everything, because I would be in the poorhouse if I started collecting Hot Toys. Yeah, so, that's just... that's just kind of my take on it. Don't worry necessarily about buying something just because it's there. But on the other hand, it is really nice to have some G.I. Joe product on the shelves. We haven't had new G.I. Joe other than like a few odd things here and there, licensed products and stuff, but we haven't had any like true new G.I. Joe merchandise for a few years. So it's really nice to actually have something that's going to be out that is actually new. Now these seem to be higher end. They're very highly detailed. Lots of accessories, and they are clearly aimed at the adult collector market. So, which again is fine. But if you are an adult collector, these are kind of aimed right at you. John Carling says, if you watch the new Netflix show Lock and Key, there is a G.I. Joe cameo. I did not know that. Thank you for letting me know, John Carling. I might check that out. McDowell says, I collect everything G.I. Joe because I think it's cool. I chose when to collect what. Choose when to collect what. I can't afford expensive statues now, so that will be later. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. 12-inch figures. Cool. But I'll tell you what my plan is, right? Because I'm a vintage collector. I'm not a 6-inch collector. I'm not a modern collector. But I do have a few samplings of different things. Like I also collect, domestic U.S. releases, but I still have a sampling of international toys, international figures. Bye, April. Thanks for stopping by. I have a sampling of modern figures and a few modern vehicles. Even though I don't actively collect those things, I like to have a few of them so that I can just understand what they're about, compare them with the vintage, see how they're different. That's just kind of how I approach it. So with this new 6-inch line, here's what I'm thinking. I don't intend to get the whole line, but I would like to get, I think, 2 figures. And specifically, I was thinking I want to get Roadblock, and I believe they're releasing, was it Scarlet? Am I misremembering that? I'm pretty sure it was Roadblock and Scarlet. The reason I want to get those 2 specifically is because if they do a vintage style of uniform on Roadblock, then Roadblock should have... Oh, McDowell says you should get the Hooded Cobra Commander when they... Alright, if they release a Hooded Cobra Commander, I'll get that one. But if they do a vintage style uniform on Roadblock, then it should have camouflage, right? And that's what I want to see, that figure, to see how the paint applications are done. See, to look at the quality of the paint. And I think a camouflage pattern on a figure would be a good test of the quality of the paint, right? And so I'm anticipating Roadblock would be a good figure for that. And the reason that I would get Scarlet is because I want to see how they do the female figures. I want to see, how they are articulated, what kind of buck they use, how they compare with the male figures. And so with those 2 figures, I think that would answer a lot of the questions that I have about the 6-inch line. So I think I can answer most of the questions I have just by getting those 2 rather than getting the whole line. So that's kind of my plan. So I'm assuming that if this series does well, they will release more of them. And we'll see. We'll see. Too bad they'll probably never make a Storm Shadow. He's super obscure. Who's even heard of Storm Shadow? Who is this Storm Shadow of which you speak? Oh, Bad Ape says also a 6-inch Hector Ramirez. If there isn't a 6-inch Hector Ramirez in the series, I'm just quitting G.I. Joe. Anyway, that's, Storm Who. Green Yeti says Toy Fair is this weekend, so we could see some new 4-inch G.I. Joe stuff. That's the other story. Okay. Are we all talked out on the 6-inch? Okay. Comic Tropes brings up Cologne. I know what he's talking about. I'll get back with you. I'll get back with on the Cologne. But are we all talked out about the 6-inch figures? Because we got another possible news story. Okay, it was reported. I think last week is either the last week or the week before that Toy Fair in Nuremberg had a G.I. Joe setup and had some 4-inch G.I. Joe figures by Jazzwares. That's the news that came out. I don't know how reliable that is, okay? I do not know how reliable that is. It's, to me, it was until we see a bit more, then that is more of a rumor, all right? It's still just a rumor. We need some more confirmation. But that's the scuttlebutt. That's the intel. That's the word on the street. Is that there? And it was described as an extensive line. So that. I mean, but you never know. This could be mistaken. Maybe there were 4-inch G.I. Joe figures there. Maybe it was a mistake that it was from Jazzwares. Maybe a little bit of a mix-up, but that's the rumor. Since there is a Snake Eyes movie coming up this year, I was expecting so a 4-inch series to go along with the movie, something that would support the movie or that would be supported by the movie. So when I heard they were coming out with 6-inch figures, that Hasbro was coming out with 6-inch figures, then and I thought, hey, that's nice, that's fine, but there's going to be a movie. You're going to want vehicles. It's very unlikely that you will have vehicles with 6-inch figures. So for the movie, I was pretty certain that at some point we would see a 4-inch scale series. And that's the rumor. And as Green Ape brings up, Green Yeti brings up, the Toy Fair in New York is coming up on, the 22nd, I think? And by then we should know a lot more about it. And I think that one of our friends, Kevin from SEO Toy Review, I believe is going to be at Toy Fair. So he may have to be our man on the spot, right? He may have to be our field correspondent to tell us what he finds out. I'm very curious. What we will see when it comes to 4-inch figures. So but I think we can expect some more solid information soon. We should know something from Toy Fair. Yes, he's got to be our Scoop. In fact, let's see if we can get him a Scoop costume. Let's see if he can cosplay Scoop for Toy Fair. I think that would be appropriate. 3 variants for Chabang. Yeah. Somebody asked about vehicles for the movie. It probably won't be as vehicle heavy as like a full G.I. Joe movie would be, but it's also been rumored that they're going to have motorcycles in this movie. So as far as vehicles, we might at least get some motorcycles. So, but I mean, we don't know what else. But we should know something really soon. We should have more solid information. So again, I am a collector of vintage figures. I don't have, skin in that game, but I know a lot of you guys really like modern figures. And if you like modern figures, but you are not so keen on the 6-inch figures, there is a possibility that you will be getting modern figures in a more traditional G.I. Joe scale. If they don't have the Ninja Lightning, if they don't have a toy-accurate Ninja Lightning in the Snake Eyes movie, thumbs down, 0 stars. Here's what I'm thinking. Snake Eyes movie, toy-accurate Ninja Lightning, and before Snake Eyes rides the motorcycle, he has to run around to the back and then pull that tab and then jump on, as he takes off. The Killer Weezer sends a super chat. Thank you, Killer Weezer. He says, they talk about 4 and 6 inch figures. Do you think they will ever be a chance they would release 3.75 figures with better details like the ones you mentioned in your most excellent reviews? Thank you for asking. And the answer to that is I don't know. We haven't heard any rumors about that. I kind of doubt they would go back to like the O-ring construction, just because I suspect that that's a little more expensive to produce, I guess. But I'll tell you what, though, if the movie is successful, then there's much higher chance of it, right? If the movie is successful, that might get some people feeling nostalgic about those older figures, and there might be a chance of us getting like a retro line or something like that. Again, if the movie is successful. If the movie is successful, we could get a lot of things. If it's not successful, then maybe not. But I think a lot hinges on the success of the upcoming movie as far as as far as new product is concerned. So, Green Yeti says O-ring is outdated these days. I don't think. Yeah, I think the O-ring style, it would be a hard sell for like new figures, but I do think that it's not maybe outside the realm of possibility to get like some kind of a retro collection. Yeah, sort of like the Star Wars retro collection. But even at that, the Star Wars figures, they are constructed a little more simply, so it's a little easier to do a retro collection for Star Wars than it would be for G.I. Joe. Will Sonic and Tails join G.I. Joe? If there's no Sonic and Tails in the Snake Eyes movie, thumbs down and 0 stars. Talk about the movie. Let's be positive. Don't scare people off. I think I mentioned this before. I'm going to go into the movie with as open a mind as possible, and kind of hoping they tries to give us a creative new angle on a familiar character. Yes, let's get a Rocky Balboa figure. Why can't we have that? Why can't we have nice things? Sean says I've been a bit too critical. Well, I mean, if you feel how you feel. I mean, nobody's saying you can't feel how you feel about it. But I mean, I would remind everybody that nobody's seen the movie yet. Not one person has seen it. It's not done yet. And we don't have instant cassettes. We can't get a cassette of the movie while it's being made. So, whatever it turns out to be, even if it's not something that any of us individually like, we should at least hope that it's popular, because if it is, then there are lots more possibilities. If they're making money off of G.I. Joe, they will give us more G.I. Joe, and they will give us G.I. Joe in more and different forms. But if G.I. Joe can't make money, if G.I. Joe can't put out a movie with a reasonable budget and good advertising, good marketing, good promotion, and it still can't create a buzz, if it still can't make some money, then it's hard to ask Hasbro to take more risk on G.I. Joe. At some point, it's got to make somebody some money. So at the very least, we should hope for that. But anyway, I'm going into it. I'm going to be optimistic. I know it's not going to be necessarily too familiar, but I think that's okay. We'll see if they do something surprising. G.I. Joe Fan 22 says, will Susan watch it with you? I'm sure she will. But like I said, I'm going to see the movie at least 2 times before I say anything about it. At least twice. No hot takes. I'm going to see it at least twice, so I really am sure about how I feel about it before I say anything. So Susan will probably see it with me that first time, most likely. I don't know that she'll necessarily want to see it again right away, but I'll honestly probably see it twice opening weekend. So, yeah. Ninja Jazz Hands. And Comic Tropes raises a point about, we may not see G.I. Joe for a while if it's not successful. I mean, and that's the risk. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. But that opening weekend is going to tell us a lot. The opening weekend will tell us a lot about how G.I. Joe is going to do going forward. So, there's a lot riding on it. There really is. So knock on all the wood. This table is plastic. It's not wood. Knock on wood, and hope at least it's successful. April, I'm wearing a Japanese T-shirt because Comic Tropes sent this to me as a gift. I thought it was really cool. And I don't think it necessarily would be the end of G.I. Joe forever. I think, it's a valuable property, and I think eventually Hasbro would try again in some form or other, but it would be a while before they tried again. It could be a long time before they tried again. I really do think there's a lot riding on it. I really do. The last 2 movies were, I guess they were profitable. They made money, but they made, I think, less than what they were hoping for, and definitely didn't have the kind of critical buzz that you would want. So I think those are kind of seen as not high performing. And Nathan says we could get a vintage line like they did for Star Wars. And I'm not promising anything, okay? Guys, I'm not promising anything, but I'm just saying, like, the only chance of ever having anything like that is if G.I. Joe is popular and making money again. That's the only shot. But I will say this. I will add this. I've said this before, but I want to reiterate. Whether I like the movie or not, I am still going to enjoy having G.I. Joe in the popular culture again. I'm going to enjoy seeing G.I. Joe advertised on television. I'm going to enjoy seeing G.I. Joe on the marquees at movie theaters. I'm going to enjoy, even if it's for a brief time, having G.I. Joe in the mainstream again. I'm really looking forward to that, and I am going to enjoy the hell out of that. I'm going to savor the moment, regardless of whatever the movie is. And I do hope the movie is good. I really hope the movie is good. But whether it is or not, it's going to be a great time to be a G.I. Joe fan. Live stream while you stand in line at the theater. That's a nice idea. Another idea is that I should let everybody know, which screening I'm going to, and do a little meetup there for the first viewing. I don't know if a lot of people would go. I don't think I have a lot of fans that are in the area that would actually come out and see me. But when I get tickets, I guess I can let you guys know, and if anybody wants to try to get tickets to the same screening, you can come out and we can watch the movie together. I'll think about that. Yeah. And Glenn says he's probably the oldest G.I. Joe fan in the group. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how old you are. You don't have to tell us how old you are. But, I don't know. Does it count how old you feel? Because I feel pretty old right now. Oh, Comic Tropes wants to talk about the biggest toy news today. The biggest toy news today. Comic Tropes wants to talk about it. And Comic Tropes is going to tell us what it is, right? What's the biggest toy news today? 69. Ha 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 ha. I have a birthday coming up in less than a month. And I won't say how old I'm going to be right now, but I'm just saying that 50 is getting closer and closer. That's all I'm saying. And by the time I'm 50, I will feel like I'm 60. How about that? Yes, okay. Comic Tropes wants to talk about G.I. Joe cologne, and I'll have to look it up again. Apparently, there's a G.I. Joe cologne. Did anybody know about this? Did anybody know? There's a G.I. Joe cologne. Hold on a second. Here it is, yeah. So, if anybody wants to smell like a Joe, if anybody, wants to smell like Shipwreck, there you go. It comes in a little canteen with like a canvas canteen cover and a little dog tag. And I think that's really what sells it. I mean, what's inside could be toilet water, but the important thing is it comes in a fancy bottle that looks like a canteen and with a dog tag on it. So that's something that's real. The price on that is 76 big ones, $76. So I mean, so it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Now, I would not be opposed to paying $76 for cologne. It'd have to be really good. It would have to be more than just a canteen cover and dog tags, right? But but this is a tough sell, and I'm a GI. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but I'm a GI Joe fan. Oh, it's Ode to Cobra. That's what they should have done. They should have done Ode to Cobra. Opportunity missed. Opportunity missed. It's Beachhead's deodorant. That's perfect. So hold on. Let's see what it says here. It's 3.4 ounces. Here's what it smells like. Inspired by real American heroes, G.I. Joe cologne pays homage to the brave sacrifices of the past while providing an inspiring and unique scent to serve the modern-day man. The fresh, woodsy scent includes notes of blood orange, smoky flint, red clay, and hickory. Blood orange, smoky flint, red clay, and hickory. Well, it does have flint in it. So I think it sticks with the theme. Package includes cologne, canteen wrap, real American hero dog tag, corrugated box. Ingredients: water, alcohol, fragrance. Due to the nature of cosmetics, all sales are final. So get your order in right now. What the heck website is this? East West Bottlers. East West Bottlers. Get your orders in now. Okay. I really should, spend my money on toys that I will actually review. But on a lark, that is something I might just buy, just for the hell of it, just because it's just that nuts, and because it makes absolutely no sense to spend $76 on G.I. Joe cologne. But sometimes I get a wild hair and I have to do something just because it doesn't make any sense. So I'll think about it. Flint smells kind of like Ozone-ish, clean and cool. Well, Ozone was in Eco Warriors, so I guess... and Flint was also in Eco Warriors. Oh, okay, so we have... And clean and cool, clean sweep. We got your Flint, we got your Ozone, we got your clean sweep. So this is an Eco Warriors themed cologne. Yeah. So, we got like 20... This live stream has gone by really fast. Thank you for everyone being here. And we got like 100 people watching right now, which is awesome. I did have some show and tell. I did have some show and tell. I actually got a couple things that I can actually show because they're not for reviews that are coming up in the near future. So let me do some show and tell, all right, before we wrap up. Let me show you a couple things I got. I got this. This is the 1994 Cobra Scorpion. And it was listed as a variant with all tan. You know, this vehicle comes in 2 flavors. It comes with a black body with tan accessories, or a tan body with black accessories. I'm looking around for the one that I have and the one that I assembled. What did I do with it? Anyway, I don't know what I did with it, but I assembled one of these, and I need to get the other one, you know, in order to review. I need to get the swapped colors. And a lot of people have talked about doing a custom that is monochrome like this, and that's what I think this is. I don't think this is a real variant. I think this is a put together. I'm almost certain. I've never seen a variation listed that is all the same color. Now, it's not bad because this is like a real desert colored vehicle now, right? If you want a Cobra desert vehicle, this is it. This is exactly it. This is 100% desert color. Nice. But anyway, so that's something I got. It was a curiosity, and it was not expensive, so I thought, what the hell, you know, and I got it. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. But I may put this in the eventual review, but I will not be claiming it as a variation, like a factory issued variation. This I'm pretty sure, you know, somebody has taken the parts from 2 different ones and put them together. I'm pretty sure. So anyway, Leah says Lucky Scent is good for cologne and perfume. You can sample most things before you buy it for like $4. Hey, that's an interesting idea. Thanks for the info. Buy the cologne and charge $1 a spritz at Joe Fest. Delvis has just given me my new business idea. GIJoespritz.com. So look for that. Let me show you the other thing that I got. We got a few minutes left in the video. I got one other thing, and it's way weirder than this. Okay, this is sane compared to the other thing I got. Okay, hold on, I show you. Hold on. I got it right over here. Hold on a second. You're gonna love this. I got Star Brigade Carcass, or as I sometimes refer to him, Carcass. Yep, there he is, Carcass. This one is loose. It is complete. I have the other accessories. Here. Hold on. I got the accessories. Now, as some of you may remember, Brandon Knight, who may still be in the live chat. Hope you are, Brandon. Brandon sent me a carded carcass. And I actually got this out because I wanted to show you guys and prove to you guys that I did not open this. I did not take this off the card. This is the one that Brandon sent to me. And this is the loose one. Okay, so I have both. I did not commit the unpardonable sin and open this sealed one that Brandon sent to me. Hello, Brandon. Glad you're here. But I needed a loose one in order to review it. So now I've got a sealed one. I've got a loose one. Now that I actually have this guy in hand, this thing is nuts. This thing is cray-cray. And I hate to... I don't want to like review the figure in the live stream. I want to do a full real review of it, but I have to point out a couple of things. Okay, I have to point out a couple of things. Yeah, check out his chest. He's got like translucent plastic and like organs under it, and these claw things. I thought these claw things would like open or something, but they don't. They're just they're solid on there. They don't. They're not hinged. They don't open up and like grab people. Also, the arms seem to be hinged together, right? The arms move together. Check that out. And they're supposed to be bendy, right? They're supposed to be bendy arms, but they are so stiff that they barely bend. Okay? But that's not the best thing about this figure. That is not the best thing about this figure. There's something great about this figure that is hilarious, and I laughed out loud when I noticed it. Because, this came with one of those accessories trees that you got in the 90s. Just a bunch of generic reissued accessories on a plastic frame. I never really paid attention to which accessories were on the frame. I was just looking for completeness, really. But once I got this in hand... Alright, I got to point this out. He's a space alien, right? A space alien. And he has a bunch of Earth weapons. Like, he's got this assault rifle, and he's got this submachine gun that was low lights. And it's even this submachine gun that is in the card art. Look, he's carrying low light submachine gun in the card art. Okay? And he has like a pistol and a knife. These are all Earth weapons, okay? They are all Earth weapons, okay? He comes with only one accessory that looks like it could be a science fiction space age accessory, okay? Only one. The one that he comes with is this one. This one looks like a decent outer space ray gun or something, okay? That is pretty science fiction looking, all right? So at least they gave him one weapon that looks like it's from outer space. But there's a problem with that weapon. There's a problem with that. I would like for you to observe his hands. You see, his hands have closed fists with little holes through them. He doesn't have like a C grip. He has closed fists on both hands. And, you can stick your grip on your submachine gun in there, and that holds pretty well. But this science fiction weapon has like this closed grip, and you cannot fit it in his hand. There is no way for him to actually hold the only accessory that makes any sense for him. And when I saw that, I laughed and I laughed. Now you can sort of put like I'm bending it. You can sort of put, I was trying to give him credit because, like, you could put the buttstock in his hand, but that doesn't fit very well, as you can see. But yeah, he can't hold the only space gun that he comes with. So So, yeah, that's this 90s Hasbro. Ladies and gentlemen, 90s Hasbro. Hello, John Ulrich. We were just making some observations about Kark-Ass here. So, yeah. He uses the Force. That's the only way he can do it. He can't hold it, so he just kind of makes it float there. Oh, Small Town Machine Shop sends a super chat. Thank you very much. It says, at that point in time in G.I. Joe, nothing was ridiculous to the designers if they thought it would sell. That's certainly true. That's certainly true. And, you know, it's not just that it looks crazy. It's that they didn't bother to make sure, you know, that he could actually hold the weapons that he comes with. And that's like a next level lazy, right? You know, it's lazy at a degree that it's almost an accomplishment. It's almost something to be proud of. To be that nonchalant about releasing, you know, spending a lot of money to produce a toy and releasing it. And like he, you know, if he went to the pawn shop and got like, you know, a few earth weapons, you could give him like a 9mm pistol, right? There, he's got a 9mm pistol. He has all these earth weapons. He's got like Hit and Run's knife. But hey, he's got the one saving grace. He's got the one space-looking weapon, and he can't hold it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. In a way, I kind of love it. It did bring me a lot of joy. Probably not for the reason intended, but it did bring me. It brought a lot of joy to my heart. Yes, indeed. So I didn't have a plan to. I didn't have a plan to review this right away. I saw one. I wanted to get it because Brandon was very kind to send me the sealed one, but I didn't want to open the seal. Brandon says Manimals need a review. Obviously, I have some because Brandon sent me some Manimals too. But I'm also reluctant to open those. But anyway, there's that. So that's the show and tell. I wanted to show you guys. I did get a couple of things. Army Builder Carcass. You know, if you want to, it actually might be a little bit difficult to Army build Carcass because they can be a little bit hard to find. I'm surprised. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to open Brandon's is because they're actually a little more rare than I was expecting. So when I found a complete one, I wanted to jump on it. But anyway, that's show and tell. That's what I got in recently. And I hope everybody enjoyed. Bad Ape said something about a sealed figure, but loose one more valuable. I guess that might be possible sometimes, but in this case, it is actually kind of surprisingly hard to find a Carcass. Hello, Mike Smith. How you doing? We're about to wind down. Oh, Brandon says I can open them with his blessing. I will consider that. I will consider it. If I wouldn't feel too guilty about it, you know, I'll consider it. Hello, Renegade Biker. I think I didn't see you come in. Sorry, but hello. Nice to see you. But that's all I got. I'm out of topics. Comic Tropes send a super chat to say great show. Thank you, Comic Tropes. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we had a little more fun this week. Thanks, everyone, for checking in. We will wind down in about 6 minutes by my clock. But I'm really happy everybody showed up. Hello, Doug Dello. You got here just in time. It's nice to see you. Aaron says the community has a direct line of conversation with the people that put stuff out now. That is, at least in some cases, that is true. A lot of the creators, like they go to conventions, they're on social media. Troy Smith says, did you talk War on Cobra? I did not talk War on Cobra, Troy Smith. Sorry you missed it, but we had a lot of Joe news to talk about. We had 6-inch figures to talk about. We had 4-inch figures to talk about. We had the movie to talk about. I had show and tell. I got a Kark-Ass, I got a carcass. So we had show and tell. It was a very lively show, very busy show. Had a lot to talk about. But we managed to fill the hour. I feel like pat myself on the back. I was actually able to talk for a whole hour without running out of things to say. Thank you, Solid. I really appreciate that, and hopefully we'll just keep the Tuesday night thing going on. I always look forward to it every week. Renegade Biker says, I'm building a computer to use for video editing and a 3D animation of G.I. Joe. Well, that is really awesome. And yeah, that would take some significant processing power. So good luck, and I hope to see what you come up with. I'd like to see what kind of animation you do. That's really cool. Of course, I regularly edit video. That's kind of the thing that I do. So I know that that takes some effort. So I need to see a proctologist about the carcass. Yeah, we'll see about that. That is his secondary military specialty is prostate exams. That's the other thing that he's good at, is secondary military specialty prostate exam. These kind of go up, and then that's what that's for. And you can do two at once. Two at once. Double prostate exam by carcass. Oh, hey, that's my new business idea. Carcassprostateexam.com. Look for that. So, wow, that's a great way to end this. I'm totally getting demonetized. I don't. YouTube's going to be very upset with me saying ass that many times. Weird move by Hasbro. Well, it was the 90s, and there were many weird moves. But we're down to 3 minutes. And I think I actually have run out of things to talk about. I didn't have a review on Sunday, so we didn't talk about a review because I didn't have one. I did an unboxing and assembly of the Brawler. Where did I put it? I put it over there. It's out of reach. But I assembled and I put together the Brawler, so at least I'd be able to have something for you guys, and I really miss it, putting out things when I'm not able to. So, but the video was delayed due to extenuating circumstances, behind the scenes stuff outside of anyone's control. But I'm hoping at least it will be worth the wait. And if it isn't worth the wait, too bad. No choice. So, and Comic Trope says, gonna live stream drawing Alley Viper version 2 in about 30 minutes on second channel Pros and Cons. So, go to Pros and Cons. You can look it up on the YouTubes, and he's going to draw Alley Viper version 2 live in about half an hour. I will try to be there if I can, Chris, but I actually haven't eaten dinner yet, and so I really need to eat. So if I can, I will be there because I want to see the drawing. But anyone who does want to see a live drawing of Alley Viper version 2, check out Comic Trope's second channel, Pros and Cons. And that's about it. I think we did it. Guys, I think we did it. I think we did the hour. I think we're done. Let's give yourself a round of applause. Everybody give yourself a hand. We made it. We got through an entire hour. We did this together. We made it. I wasn't sure that we could. It was touch and go there a few times, but we made it. We did it. So I think we're gonna try to do this again next week. Make sure you before you start, make sure you drink a lot of fluids. Make sure you stretch. You don't want to pull a hamstring. But we're gonna try this again and do this again next week. So anyway, but thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. I will sign out. I am working on videos, and So I'm very busy, and I apologize for not getting back to certain people who've sent me messages. Very sorry, but I'm life is chaos right now. But at any rate, thanks for watching. I will see you next week, and for now, I will say goodbye. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Bye. I gotta find the button. There's the button. Bye.